Welcome back to Two Heads in a Shed. We have a special guest with us today. Ryan, what do we got coming on?
We have Ryan Ellis, NASCAR extraordinaire, joining us today. Pretty thrilled about it. We've been talking about it for a while, and finally we've executed. So this is
It's going to be a fun one.
It's exciting seeing it come to fruition.
Absolutely. So Ryan Ellis joining us. Let's get into it.
Has anyone seen my tooth? Bing bong.
Okay, go ahead.
You're probably sitting there asking yourself, geez, where do those guys get their fresh haircuts? I'll tell you where we get our haircuts. Conrad's Barbershop in Taunton, Massachusetts, right on Winthrop Street. He has the beard of a gnome. He's a handsome devil.
Bring cash.
And make sure you bring cash or else you get your hair cut for free, which is pretty lackluster for my friend Tim, the owner of Conrad's Barbershop. Give him a buzz, 508-822-8968, and tell him the Two Heads in a Shed sent you.
Ryan.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, gotcha.
Oh,
Awesome.
it works.
It does.
That's incredible.
What's
First
good?
try.
That's right. So how's everything going, Ryan?
Oh, not too bad. Just running around. Got a sick kid, so trying to make sure she's not doing too bad. But what about you guys?
I'm fighting the good fight too with you, kid. I'm sick. This is like Michael Jordan flu game for me. So anything
Hey,
for
there
our
you go.
first.
Hopefully it turns out as good.
Yeah. Thanks. Hopefully.
Yeah, Ryan needs sympathy whenever he's sick. He needs everybody to know. So he's the type that'll go
It's true.
sit down the end of his
I think
driveway.
that's every grown adult, right?
Yeah. Please nurture me and tell me everything's going to be okay. Basically, is what I need.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Just since we had the 2-year-old and she's in daycare, it's pretty much like constant. So
Oh,
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
you don't know when one stops and the other one starts.
Yep.
So, so you have the one kid?
Yep, it's 2.5-year-old girl, so named Hayden.
Awesome. I have a niece, Haven.
What was that?
I have a niece, Haven. Did you say Haven is her name?
Hayden, Hayden.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Wrong consonant, Chad.
Yeah.
Wrong consonant,
My
dude.
bad.
Come on.
So we kind of want to just we kind of the goal for today was to get to know you a little bit and then understand a little bit about like what is involved in a NASCAR racer's life and leading up to that and everything. So
It's a mess. It's the least sexy thing in the world.
I don't know. We're in electrical supplies, so that might be
Yeah,
that might
that's
be a little
the
less.
second least sexiest thing in the world.
I feel like it's the same boat, man. You guys just make more money than me. That's it.
So what, how do you get into racing? How do you get to like the very beginning to, I mean, now you're in the Xfinity Cup. Is that correct?
Yeah, Xfinity Series. And I'm 34 years old. Started racing when I was 4. So my grandpa's raced on both sides, my mom's side and my dad's side. Didn't really have anything to do with like how my parents met. Ironically, they kind of just found that out after. But my dad raced his whole life, and I started when I was 4 years old. So it's not something like there's not like a little league, at every little city around the country. That's like farming the talent of tomorrow for NASCAR. So it's a little harder to get into. And like without sounding weird, like you have to come from. You don't see like a lot of kids from lower income neighborhoods make it into racing because they have to obviously have a certain amount of money just to get started. But like I was about the minimum, my family was about the bottom of that minimum requirement to just get me enough of the way down the line to get to this level.
And you said you started when you're 4. Like, so what is that? What are you starting out racing at 4?
I started in quarter midgets, which are essentially go-karts, but with roll cages. So they have like a little bit of a roof structure over them.
Yeah.
So it keeps you breaking your neck. They still go 45, 60 miles an hour when you're that old. So you're still flying around there. And
That is,
like
that is incredible.
I know.
That is crazy.
Yeah. And they're dangerous. I mean, like my one of my first races in actual, just in a go-kart, because I was doing both at the same time. Like a kid broke his neck, I think. So when my mom was there, and she was like, all right, we're done with this. Stick into the quarter midget stuff, and did that for 7 or 8 years.
Wow.
Oh man. So who are you racing against at 4? Are there 4-year-olds, or is it like is there an age range?
It's good. Honestly, like looking back, I have so much like brain damage from hockey and racing my whole life. I think it's like a combination of age bracketing. Like they have junior and senior, which I think like it varies depending on the different engines. So there's like a bunch of different classes, and then within that they have age brackets, and then within that they have weight brackets. So they have like light and heavy to keep that a little bit more even. So I was usually like in the light bracket, but I was always racing against kids older than me, and that like kept going for the rest of my life. Like I was 4 years old racing against 7 or 8 years old, 12 racing against 16-year-olds. And then when I was 16 and 15 in that range, I was racing against like 40, 50-year-olds. So it was always like, I was always on the younger side of things.
So how did the racing get prioritized over the hockey for you? Because obviously you said that you were into hockey. So did you ever entertain pursuing that over NASCAR?
I did, but my talent definitely held me back on the hockey side. I was just good enough to like make our D2 college hockey team, but I was like middle of the roster there. And like I just literally got run over because I'm 5'9", so I was like perfect elbow height to get knocked.
That makes 2 of us, right? Must be the name.
I'm not tall. Perfect size for a NASCAR driver, but not so much on the hockey side.
Yeah, a little too big for a jockey, but the car will be able to pull it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Didn't have good hockey hands. That didn't help either.
Yeah, I loved hockey, but I was never.
I went on skates once and immediately quit because I'm a quitter. So.
I wish I was. Would have saved a lot of money. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's the thing too. Hockey's not cheap to play, and if you want to play on good teams, it's expensive.
Yeah. My parents did not pick like the right sports. They put me in baseball for a little bit, and I was okay. But my dad, I don't think, was a big baseball guy, so he kept me in hockey and racing.
Yeah, my kids are playing. Well, my oldest kid plays baseball, and he loves it, and it's painful to watch.
Is it okay?
As they get
I know
a
you
little,
guys are baseball guys.
Yeah,
I don't watch it. I just don't watch anything.
No, it's
tough.
pretty painful. And when they're younger too. So the first year it's kind of funny, like T-ball's funny, and then it's rough for like
brutal.
Probably 7 or 8 years.
Because they think they're really good, and then not.
Yeah,
they're not good. It's awful.
No,
yeah,
exactly.
I can only imagine.
Brutal.
Yeah, picking grass would be funny to watch for the first season. Then after that, with in their pants in the outfield, it's probably a little less funny.
Yeah, it's not great. So, what's the prep for a race look like for you?
And it's like there is none in a weird way. Like, I mean, during the week, honestly, I mean, outside of the business stuff, it's going to the gym. I still play men's league hockey a couple nights a week. And I used to do a lot of CrossFit stuff, but that just like beat my body up way too much. But like the hours before a race it varies so much race to race. Sometimes we practice that, or we might practice qualify race that day. Sometimes we just show up and race. And a lot of it's focused around pre-race stuff. When I say that, it's like going to the driver intro stage. It's meeting with sponsors. It's like a random appearance here or there, making sure our guests are like all taken care of there. And like, we don't have specific meals. Like it's all, like I said, when we first started talking, it's a lot less sexy than you think. A lot of the times I just don't eat because there's nothing there. I might grab like a bag of chips or Cheetos and pound that down before the race.
Yeah.
But if I had my choice, it'd be like pasta and chicken or salad or something like that. But a lot of times it's just burgers and hot dogs that our truck drivers cooking.
And so you're the one that's reaching out to all the sponsors, or do you have other people doing that as well?
It's a mix. Like, I mean, if it's for my profile, it's absolutely me. Okay. I have a couple people that work with me, like through my management group, that I kind of oversee, I'd say. And like I have a girl or someone that helps me with like outreach and sales on that side, but that's all from like their profile. So a lot of people think it's spam, but it's me sitting here for 16 hours a day on LinkedIn and through my sales software, emailing people.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Fan question, Bri, if you don't mind. If you have to take a leak mid-race, right?
Yeah.
How does that look? Not the leak itself, but you can't. Okay, that's, I mean.
How does that look is the wrong question.
Physically, you can't, and liquid-wise, you usually can't either, because I've never actually weighed myself, but I know a lot of people have, and they've done like that sports science stuff, and they lose like 7 to 12 pounds of water weight a race, so it's like sitting in a sauna.
Wow.
Yeah.
I should do that.
125, 135 degrees, somewhere in there. And that's just like the air temp. So it's pretty miserable in there.
Yeah, because you're in the suit too, right? Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it's a thick-ish suit. It's like 3 layers, 4 layers somewhere in there.
Wow.
But the air temp is miserable. It feels like you're just dying the entire time. I've tried to pee once, and it was like when it poured rain, it got really humid, and we had a long caution 500-mile race. I like undid my lap belts. I'm like, I'm finally going to do it. Like I have to. The race hadn't even started. And I've heard that if you crash and you're like got a full bladder, it'll explode.
Gone. See you later. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was
that'll
like,
extinguish the fire pretty quick, I would think.
Dude, you can't. Like it'd be the same thing. I'm like, hey, piss yourself right now. Like you can't. Like your body just won't let you. It's the weirdest thing.
That's crazy.
Goodness. Second fan question. When you're driving to the grocery store, right? How fast do you go? Okay, that's
I'm boring now.
Do you kind of have to be?
I got ticketed to death like my first 6 or 7 years on the road.
I was going to say, yeah.
I lost my license a lot, and I think that was just like me being like an idiot and like everybody, peer pressure, that kind of stuff. And then honestly, it was just like, dude, it's not worth it. Like at some point, on a good and bad way, when you're going 180, 100, 200 miles an hour, like it's 70 versus 55 doesn't really make a big difference,
Yeah.
But that's also on the inverse side. I've literally left the track and gone like 62 and a 40 and gotten pulled over. I'm like, I literally didn't think I was speeding.
Yeah, you don't even feel like you're going anywhere.
Exactly.
It's this guy's problem.
Yeah.
I've got pulled over on the way to track, like on the way to track miles from that, and then on the way out of a track after a race, like within 10 minutes of the track too.
So when you're on the highway, it doesn't bother you that people are passing you, or does it?
Well, that honestly probably does, but like,
of course it does,
because it bothers me. So I can only
imagine.
It's a
competitive racer. It has to.
No, it does. But like when I'm driving my daughter, I'm like a defensive driver to like the DMV standpoint. Yeah, if I'm driving to hockey or something, I'm running late. It's a different story. But being close enough to Charlotte, I know like where the bad parts are and where I can kind of ego people and where I can.
That's awesome. So you're in North Carolina?
Yep, just outside of Charlotte.
Okay, cool. What's the fastest you've gone on a track?
Man, we don't have speedometers in there, and like it was probably Indianapolis, like 2016, because it was a different rules package back then. Around 210, I don't know, plus or minus 10 miles an hour. Definitely over 200, but now in like our cars, it's more track limited because we don't ever have that long of a straightaway. It's probably around 190-ish, like plus or minus 5.
Okay.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Are you
involved? It don't feel the same perspective at some point.
It does feel the same?
Like 170 miles an hour at, say, Dover, Delaware feels 10 times faster than 190 at Daytona. Until you hit the wall, and then you realize how fast you're going.
Then you really feel it.
I saw you get. So I was watching some YouTube videos. I saw you got somebody. So to be completely honest, I don't know much about NASCAR, but
you're fine. I hear that every day.
I saw somebody who definitely hit you on purpose. What is that?
Which one that was? Oh, Charlotte.
Yes.
Charlotte truck.
And you knew too. You were pissed. What?
So I was so new that in spotters, and you can't see a lot in our cars. I was like, I'm pretty sure he wrecked me on purpose, but you don't have a replay. You don't have a perspective. So you're like, want to go kill him. But if it was my fault or if something broke, I don't want to look like an idiot. So I'm like half.
Yeah. Then you're
now I'm more comfortable.
Sports Center, not top 10.
Somebody.
Yeah, the not.
Don't want to choke out this guy,
and it wasn't his fault.
Well, yeah.
No, but so to me, but also to the announcers. The announcers said that it was on purpose, and you stood there and kind of waited for him to drive by. What is that? What's going through your head? Like,
ow, usually. I think I ripped my bicep in that crash and like
Oh,
something. Yeah, like in my seat, a lot of the side support comes up here. So when you crash that way, it's like your arm will come down at whatever mile an hour and destroy that. So that's why you'll see me like kind of shaking my arm off at the beginning. But it was like my first year, maybe my sixth race. So I was like, I don't even know who this guy is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what happened. But he has a long history, like criminal history too. So like, I know that now.
yeah.
And then he's like, why does it smell like urine in here? All of a sudden.
Bladder exploded.
Not to get too deep, I think Tony Stewart like had an incident where, somebody like had run at his race car that within a year of me walking there. So I knew there were a lot of strict restrictions on me walking away from safety vehicles.
Yeah.
So being a rookie, I'm like, I don't want to get a $25,000 fine from NASCAR. And I just was like, lost my, don't do that again, please.
Right.
Yeah, that's brutal. And especially when the risk of injury is so high, like that's crazy.
Yeah, I get pretty bad rage in the car, so I can't talk for the most part. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's
I've
awesome.
had some. So it's on the other side of things. So it works out.
As far as prep for the car, like, are you involved in that process at all, or do you have a team for that and you just show up and walk to the car, get in the front seat, and rip it?
Yeah, it's a lot less hands-on than you'd think. Some guys are a little more hands-on. I'm not mechanically inclined at all. I'm about to go put a Costco shelf together, and I don't know what the odds of that working out are. But I hop in
like you.
It does.
Yeah, my wife builds pretty much everything. I might go to the shop and just sit in the car and literally like, hey, move the wheel here, do this, that.
Yeah.
But if I do any kind of work on the car, it's not going to work.
How does like a team get assembled to work on your vehicles? How does that whole process come together?
It's not quite like Ricky Bobby, like we pulled through a car wash or whatever he did there. It's case by case because a lot of people will buy into an old team. Like the guy that owns the team I drive for, Tommy Joe Martins, he had a group of people that he'd been working with for a few years. And usually it's like, okay, we got the assets, we got the money to do it. Let's hire these people, hire those, hire a crew chief. And then you find like he might have this guy he's worked with. And then just a bunch of guys that are really getting referred. And it's a small industry, just like anything else. But from my side, it's kind of like a video game where it's like we have X amount of budget from sponsorship. We can shop at these 3 to 5 teams and see what kind of deal we can get with them. So and I've been with the same team for 3 years now. So I basically, with the budget that we have based on sponsorship, had 3 to 5 teams to choose from to go with.
Nice.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I meant to ask you this earlier when we were talking about getting it, like growing up. When did you know that you were gonna race car, like for a living?
For a living, I still don't. I still don't believe it because it's I would say my life dream. Obviously, like you want to win races, you want to win championships, but like I never had the money to do it. Like we live bill to bill. Like I said, my parents had enough money to get go-karts and stuff together. And a lot of the guys I race against, their families are they're all millionaires. They own massive businesses that I couldn't even dream of. So they're sponsored through that. So even the fact that like I'm going to have my first full-time season this year has not said. I know people say that it's like 100% not real to me. Because last year, if I'd been told that at any point in the season that I'd be full-time, I would have broke down like crying and like just been so happy. But now just being in the business side of it, I'm like, all I'm focused on is the sponsorship and making sure that works out.
Right.
That's incredible. So this is your first season that you're going to do full-time.
All the races. Yep.
Congratulations.
Congrats
great.
on that. That's awesome. So how did you get to that? What did that?
Man, it's a really strange answer of like just being in the right place at the right time, making the most of a few opportunities, and working with the right people. So fast forward to basically where I got into NASCAR. I happened to be winning a lot of things. Worked with Volkswagen. They kind of brought me up this side ladder of Grand Am, which is road racing, left and right turns, Rolex 24 kind of stuff. And happened to be at the track the same day that somebody needed a driver in NASCAR, was at a road course, and they didn't have a road course expert, left and right turns once again instead of an oval. I just got thrown in there because I'd worked with the guys that worked at a radio show that knew the team owners. They're like, hey, can you fit in the seat? Okay, do this. I did what's called start and parking for like 40 or 60 races straight, which is just make the race, which is pretty tough in itself. So qualify in, and then you run like 2 laps and then shut the car off. Like it's basically, that's it. So you pretend to brake, but it's a living. Like I didn't have to find X amount of money to do that. I was paid to do that. So it was getting me track time. Found a decent sponsor, made it to Cup. That sponsor, CMO, quit. And then the new CMO didn't want to keep doing the racing program. I said, like, basically, screw this. Like, it's too much wear and tear just trying to get this stuff together. Did PR and marketing for a Cup Series team because my degree was in marketing for my buddy for 4 years. That team shut down. Their biggest sponsor went with me for like 4 races, and I was working at a lead generation marketing firm at that time, full time. And that I found out that's how you build a sales pipeline. Used all those CRM tools and all the practices I was using at that lead generation job, at like working supply chain lead gen during COVID. And I was like, I can do this for my own sport. Like I can do this for my own racing. Got enough sponsorship together to do like whatever I did last year, 31 races, and now we have enough to do the full season this year.
So maybe this podcast will make us famous someday. We just got to be at the right place at the right time, get some sponsorships going.
Yeah,
it's just like about putting the miles in, man. It's crazy.
Right.
But without like a lead gen marketing job, I don't think I'd be here. Like it's crazy
that is nuts.
I got a job just doing that, and that's what got me to being a full-time NASCAR driver.
Incredible.
That's really cool because what I do is business, is business development, and so. Mm-hmm. I'm using lead generation tools, and I use CRM, HubSpot, all the time. I
can't afford it yet. So that's my next purchase.
HubSpot or a CRM in general?
HubSpot. That's the one I'm familiar with. I worked with Salesforce a little bit at other jobs.
HubSpot's affordable too. It's Salesforce is
40 a seat. I think it's 39 a seat. I was looking at the other day, and then I'm like, I can't. Too much money for me right now.
Yeah, it's I'm not sure what it is per seat. We pay by like contact, so it's we have thousands and thousands of contacts. So that's like where our where it racks up. If you keep adding contacts, it
can be $1 a contact.
It can be a lot, but it's definitely more cost effective than Salesforce as far as seen. So
and I don't understand Salesforce to the degree that I need to, so I'm not going to pay for it.
It's great. It's super useful.
Yep.
So that's
we have this conversation like 10 times a week too, with like my brother-in-law works in lead gen, and then like my entire team. We're like just talking about CRMs and stuff. It's exactly what people would assume NASCAR drivers are doing always.
Right? Yeah. Trying to generate sales. That would be the last thing. I'm
thinking you're on the track all day.
Yeah, exactly. Me too. Same here.
Yeah.
Nope. I just hired like a LinkedIn outreach company last week, a sales company that makes calls on our behalf, set up like all that integrations, and like was writing call scripts this morning.
Good for you. Good for
like I said, it's not sexy, but it works.
I was on my couch watching Bluey with my kid this morning.
We got Peppa Pig on right now, I think.
Nice.
Writing call scripts. Yeah, you would never think a NASCAR driver is writing call scripts.
Most people would think NASCAR drivers can't even write, so yeah.
That's pretty.
And it's Bluey, by the way. I just heard the theme song. Bluey's playing right now.
Yep. Ryan knows. Ryan's into it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude, life with kids.
Speaking of into it, you got into it with shingles. Yep. What is shingles, and how did that recovery process go?
Did you race? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no, Chad, your podcast. Go ahead.
Did you race with shingles?
Yeah, I was trying to get, just marketing thing, not like I'm a genius from it, but I was trying to get Shingrix to sponsor me after. Like, don't be me. Like, look at this. It's a mess. Couldn't get to the right people on LinkedIn. But I stressed out a lot. And honestly, like last offseason, I joked about it, but it was real. I thought I was going to caffeinate myself to death just trying to get to that full-time opportunity. We had like a 6-week break in the season last year where I didn't have the sponsorship. It was the only couple of races I didn't run. And during that time, I was just like blasting through all the open races, trying to make it to be as close to full-time as we could. Wasn't sleeping well, over-caffeinated myself, and I think my immune system like crashed. Gave me the shingles, which was, I don't even know how to describe it other than like some kind of nerve crap. I looked like I had a rash all over my side of my face, went to sport clips, didn't know if they were like terrified of me or what. And went to the doctor. They said, "Yeah, you got shingles." And I was like, "Does that mean I'm going to die, or I don't know what that is?"
Yeah,
Oregon Trail kind of disease. So yeah, it was
scarlet fever.
Dude, it was bad. Yeah, it got into my eye literally 5 minutes before the race. So it's just like really big, like shooting pain, like some kind of things living under your skin. And I was on nerve, this, that. I don't know, like what kind of medicine they put me on. But it sucked, and it was like really hard. I was tired a lot, obviously, for being in that stuff, and then had to race at Nashville in the middle of June, which is like the worst place I wanted to be.
I'm sure heat helped.
Yeah,
so that's good.
Getting sweat all in whatever it is.
You're not supposed to rub your eye. Yeah, and all the sweat was going into my eye before the race, so then my eye turned red and it wouldn't open. I couldn't open my eye before the race, so I wore sunglasses everywhere and made sure I didn't tell anybody, like media, anything until like I was already in the car. Because I didn't want to get pulled out of the seat.
Oh, so sorry, Ryan. Sorry to bring that up.
Oh no, it was cool because I felt like finally there's a story to tell about me. But
it was the first thing that I found. Well, I was like trying to find videos, and it was like Ryan with shingles. I'm like, oh geez. Yeah. My wife had shingles too. My wife had shingles while she had twins inside of her. So that was
that's probably stress too. It's usually from stress.
Yep, that's what it was. Yep,
they told my sinus infection look a little.
Nobody cares about your sinus infection.
No big deal, I guess.
No.
It only sucked because it was on my face, so I just looked like I'd been like a burn victim. Which most people get back, neck, like I think a lot of the like. I got it like just side of my face.
Oh, yeah, it was ugly. That's brutal. Did you have any more shingles questions?
That's going to do it, I think, for the shingles segment.
Who are you when you're looking for a sponsor? Are you looking for like a specific type of company, or like what are your goals when you're like, I'm going to go look for a sponsor?
So as you kind of know, just for reaching out to you, I was like, there's certain titles I really aim for. There's a lot of I aim for a lot of blue collar companies because I think the employees there and their customer base are a little bit more likely to be NASCAR fans.
Yeah.
If I go after software companies all day, it's really hard. They're all Silicon Valley based, New York City. It's like that's not going to work. So I go after companies that might be able to bring some employees out to the track and show them like a good time. Anybody that invests in NFL suite, NHL suite, anything like on the track, like anything branding wise at any kind of major sports stadium, because they usually get a suite alongside of it. So they do client hosting, and some of our best sponsors, like in terms of most successful, have had customer success programs tied to them. Like Classic Collision is doing 11 races for us, brings out a large group of employees at each region across the United States. And the branding stuff's cool. It's cool to have your own race car. And a lot of guys just that's all they focus on. But I want to have somebody that comes back year to year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's cool. It's I can't believe how much you do in the back end.
It's very entrepreneurial. Like it's
100%. It's like
more than you would think.
You got your own business.
You would think. Yeah, exactly.
A very stressful business. I mean, I just lean into that more. Essentially, the way to unsexy it even more, like the way a sponsorship works, I'll just throw random numbers out there so that my manager doesn't kill me. But you essentially sign a deal with the team saying that my LLC owes the team X millions of dollars. And so all it says is that. And it'll be like, we might have some people that are helping us with our side in whatever legal way they say that. But when I sign with a team, which is why it's only just more stress, it's like, all right, let's sign up to pay the team this many millions of dollars. And then it's my job to go and source that. So all I look at is like, signed on for all this much debt. It's not like that's income or anything like that. It's just trying to just make it even so that we can actually just do the racing stuff.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's a lot of work.
Keeps me up at night, that's for sure.
Yeah. So maybe along that line, we had a fan write in and ask a question. He said, "What's your opinion on the cost of charters at the Cup level? The most recent charters sold for $40 million. Are you or others in NASCAR concerned with the cost of the charters, maybe eliminating possible new owners and sponsors coming into the sport?"
Man, it's probably too smart of a question for me, honestly, because I just
Same here.
live in my own little world.
It's for me too, because I would never have even thought to ask that question, but somebody wrote in and asked that.
Really, what it was established for in like whatever accumulated depreciation.
Could you start that again? Sorry, we broke up for a second.
I saw that. Yeah, it's internet was unstable. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Essentially, a charter was created to create value for team owners. So whatever accumulated depreciation they have in like the equipment, the shop, et cetera, has value at the end. Because, you can't just go into the NBA, NHL, NFL and just be like, I'm starting a team tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
And just buy the assets. Like you have to buy something from somebody else or pay the expansion fee. In NASCAR, that never existed. You just buy the car, hire the right people, pass tech, and you own a NASCAR team. So
wow.
It going up in value is just, to me, showing that NASCAR is growing.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
What's tied to my income more is probably the next TV deal, whatever revenue share they get there. Once again, I don't know how that's ever going to affect me, but I hope it makes it go up, can't go down too much.
Yeah. So what's your next step? Like, what would your goals, your short, long-term goals be?
I don't even know anymore. From on track, win a race. I want to win a race. We want to get top 10s, and that just comes with more sponsorship, better opportunities. I want to be full time, and right now we've got that. So after that, it's just continuing to move up the ladder, build more sponsorship because that gets us the better race teams. And I'm good not doing Cup. I'm happy in the Xfinity Series 2 days a week. Home, hang out with my daughter. Cars seem pretty safe, so do that, win races, and have a steady job for 5 or 10 years.
Awesome.
That's pretty cool. I had one more question.
Go ahead, Chad. All you, bud.
What's your favorite place that you've raced?
Market or racetrack?
I was thinking racetrack, but market as well. I was thinking racetrack.
Phoenix area is awesome because of great food. And that's pretty much all I do on the road is just hit food and go to the gym. But actually, the racetrack's awesome too. Mid Ohio was probably my favorite track. I took it off the schedule, but probably one of the worst markets. It's in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, we go to a lot of really cool places. Like you go to Las Vegas, Phoenix, Atlanta, Daytona, like Miami. We go to really, really cool places. There are some places in the middle of nowhere though, like Darlington, Martinsville, Virginia.
Loudon, New Hampshire. Loudon, New Hampshire.
Loudon is in the middle of nowhere, right?
Yeah, it is kind of in the middle of nowhere.
See you there.
And Vegas.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get out there to see that.
Definitely.
It's a cool track. That's probably our best track as a team too.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, we should have been top 10 last year. Just had.
You'll probably hear us yelling.
Oh yeah, be screaming like a schoolgirl for your ride.
Pretty loud. That'd be pretty loud for that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Probably why it's called Loudon.
Oh, if you guys are near that area, there's still some good food up there, and there's a cool gym I like to hit called the Zoo in Manchester. I think.
Oh, really?
Wow,
dude, it's awesome. They have a American Ninja Warrior kind of setup there. You can go and run a ropes course and
right up my alley.
That's cool.
Perfect.
No, it's not. Lies, dude. That's awesome.
That's cool.
So how can people find you? Are you on social media to follow you as you keep racing?
Yeah, I'm on social, pretty much everything other than TikTok at Ryan Ellis Racing, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and I try to be active. I just forget about it, and I try not to get on social too much because it's just a miserable world.
Right? Sure is.
We'll tag you in some of this.
Yeah, really appreciate you joining us. Seriously, thank you for taking the time. Absolutely.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, this was great.
100%.
Thanks a lot, Ryan.
Go win some races, Ryan, will you?
Dude, with our team, we try. It's an uphill battle. We got 15 people on our team. Big teams have 300 to 500.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they got college campuses. We have a Jiffy Lube is what I always tell people.
Okay, so what are they doing with that many people? Are they a whole outreach team getting sponsorships? Why do they have so many people?
They don't even worry about it because their team owners are Roger Penske, he owns Penske Truck Lines, Michael Jordan, Pitbull. They had Mr. Hendrick with owns more Chevy dealerships than anybody in the country. So they just do B2B ops. That's why Ally Financial finances all their cars. Napa gives them all their tools, and Valvoline gives them all their oil. It's like, cool. All right. We don't need to find any more sponsorship.
Right.
We're good.
Wow.
So it's just engineers and like just not, they have probably 50 engineers. We have an intern that I don't know if he like has any experience. We don't have a wind tunnel. We just drive a car down we'll say we drive it down an open road or in an open trailer with like, strings attached to it and just see what happens.
You get there and it's all dented in the front and the back from hitting the back and the front of the trailer.
Yep. We run everything 3 to 5 races at least. They rebuild everything after every race. We buy their cars used. Like my car is the car I raced at road courses last year was the second oldest car in like rotation in NASCAR. Built in 2008.
Wow.
And it says just married on the back with like
Yeah, right.
ribbons.
Yeah, most of their cars are like brand new and they win a race and they crush it. And we buy whatever they crash 10 times and sell us 10 years later.
Oh man.
Wow, dude, that is crazy.
Concerning.
And that they're in
Obviously,
the
my goal is to move up.
they're in the
Yeah.
Xfinity. They're in the Xfinity series.
Yep.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah,
That's why people are like, you can win this week. I'm like, no, I can't. Like, we can't. It's physically not possible. I'm like, anything else, Miracle on Ice, I get. It's not possible. They could crash their car 5 times and still be better than ours.
To Xfinity and beyond.
Yep.
well, dude,
That's
we'll absolutely be cheering for you. I'm excited to watch now.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. Obviously, if you want to come on out, New Hampshire, come on out. We should have some empty spots. Can't remember who's sponsoring us there.
Yeah, we'll come up anyway. I'll shoot you a message. We'll connect.
We'll be in touch.
Yeah, you'll become somewhat a fan at least. It's way like I would hate NASCAR and think it's so stupid if I didn't grow up around it, and I totally understand why people think it's dumb. But like when you're able to go there and meet like the pit crews and see the backside of the sport, and
Yeah,
see
it's a
what
whole culture, probably.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, so that was the thing. I didn't grow up watching it, so I think it's cool because I mean, going that fast is cool. But I've never been able to get into it because I don't have like a storyline to go with it. So
watch the Netflix show. They just went out like 3 days ago. They actually did a pretty decent job of developing characters and showing it a little bit, kind of like the F1 Drive to Survive series.
Yeah.
They're trying to copy that.
Oh, that's cool. I'll watch it. Check it out.
My wife still thinks it sucks, but like I thought it was pretty good.
Who asked her anyway?
Yeah,
our wives think what we do is pretty stupid too. So
selling wire and pipe is.
Yeah, she's been like, good race. I'm like, we crashed. She's like, oh, sorry.
Oh, that's right.
Good.
My bicep is torn. What are you talking about?
Hayden, go tell Daddy good job.
I'm in the hospital. That literally happened. I was like, I'm in the hospital right now. She's like, oh, shoot.
Do you need something or?
Like, you're at the race. What are you doing?
One more episode of Bluey and we'll be right there.
Yeah, literally, she was at the race and just was hungover. I'm like,
that's awesome.
Thank you.
Oh, that's great. All right, well, we'll see you in Loudon. When's your next race?
Season starts in 2 weeks from today, actually. Daytona.
Sick. All right.
Grip it and rip it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Will do.
Go get him, Rye.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man.
Thanks a lot for joining us.
See ya.
For sure. See you guys.
See ya.
Has anyone seen my tooth?